So, let me guess. You drop into Arc Raiders, get absolutely shredded by the first robot patrol you see, maybe even get ambushed by another player, and then you're staring at that black screen. Sound familiar? This game is brutally unforgiving, but it's not random. The best players aren't just lucky, they know the rules, the systems, and the secrets to dominating every single raid. So today, I'm giving you those secrets. Here are 15 essential tips and tricks that will turn you from a walking loot box into a seasoned survivor who extracts with a full backpack, raid after raid. We're jumping straight in with one thing most new players get wrong, so let's get into it. So, first things first, you need a mental reset, guys. This isn't a battle royale, there is no quote-unquote winning, there is only surviving. Your primary objective is to get out with your gear. Picking loud, pointless gunfights is the fastest way to attract every arc, enemy, and enemy player, enemy raider, whatever you want to call them, in a 200 plus meter radius, and go home with literally nothing. When you drop topside, you need to have a plan. Know what you're there for, keep an eye out on the extraction timers, and always have an escape route. A successful raid is one where you leave with a bag full, not a high kill count. If your backpack is full or your clock's ticking, get out. Don't get greedy, live to raid another day. Alrighty, this one I reckon not too many raiders actually understand, and I was one of them up until recently. And of course, I'm talking about shields and how they actually work in Arc Raiders. So essentially, if we're going off 99.9% of every other game you've played with shields in it, how it works is that damage is eaten away at your shields until it's depleted before your player actually starts taking health damage. And I think this is where most raiders get confused because shields in Arc Raiders work much differently. So when you actually hover over the shield in your inventory, it will show up with these stats. And you'll notice in the description, it states that shields only block a percentage of incoming damage to the player. So basically your shields are only going to block X amount of incoming damage to your raider depending on the variant of shield you're wearing. This is why in fights it's much more important to heal your health bar up before popping a shield recharge, because a lot of the time that shield isn't really going to help you in fights, especially against other raiders. A player with no shield and full health will win 100% of his fights against any other player with full shields and say half HP. It's that simple, guys. So keep this in mind the next time you're thinking about which shields to buy and take in with you to the Rust Belt. Alrighty, this one is so simple, guys, but I swear 90% of rookie raiders ignore it. So running with your weapon out, even your pickaxe, significantly drains your stamina and actually slows you down. So by simply pressing the holster button, which is H on keyboard, don't really know or care what it is on consoles, sorry guys, you boost your movement speed and cut down on stamina use, which is critical for not only escaping a bad fight, but for also covering like much more ground a lot more efficiently. Think of it this way though, weapon out for combat, weapon holstered for travel. Entering a compound, draw your weapon. Running across an open field, holster it. Mastering this simple toggle will save your life more times than you can count. And look, we've all been there, we've all done it before, but trust me, it really does help. It's so simple, trust me. Alright, now I know what you're thinking. You've probably seen the title of this one in the top right hand corner or whatever, top left hand, wherever I freaking decide to edit it. But, you know, Kilroy, why shouldn't we trust other raiders? I'll fucking tell you why, because 90% of other raiders you come across are lying scumbags that will say they're friendly only to turn around and shoot you in the back. Be on guard at all times around other raiders, even if they say they're friendly. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some friendly people out there, but I swear to God, I'm in Australia, like OCE lobbies, whatever it is, and they're the most toxic motherfuckers in every single game. So yeah, just watch out for a few common subtle tells, you know? Usually when you're extracting, the nice raiders will always have their weapons holstered, so you know they're friendly, naturally. Never trust the ones who run into extract with their weapons drawn. They are definitely gonna, like, you're definitely gonna get shot the second you turn your back to boop 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 beep beep on the console, okay? Don't turn your back on fucking raiders, trust me. Shoot them. Now, some of us have been betrayed way too many times in this game and now just shoot first and ask questions later, so don't make the same mistake we all did by thinking people have honor in this game. So, yeah, honestly, your high tier loot in your inventory will thank me later. Now, the skill tree can be actually a lot to take in when you're first starting, but your first few points are absolutely critical. Now, you only get 75 of them, so the max level is obviously player level 75, and yeah, so don't spread them out too much. Stamina is king in Arc Raiders, so the mobility tree is where you want to focus first. Prioritize skills that reduce stamina costs for movement and increase your maximum stamina, like Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs. Investing here, especially towards the start, will fundamentally change how you play, letting you run further, dodge more, and escape fights you'd otherwise lose. However, after that initial, say, like 10, 15, 20 levels, I would heavily focus your skills to the survival tree and grind all the way up to the final skill, security breach. This is without a doubt the best skill in the game, allowing you to breach the security lockers on all the maps, which have some of the best loot in game, along with countless weapons and other items. And this is even after they nerfed the drop rates and patched it, so it is still the GOAT. 36 skill points into survival right away. I don't care what anyone else says. Trust me, you will not, you won't regret it. Let's put it that way. You will not regret it. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you guys already know this one anyway, and it's going to be a pretty simple and straightforward one, but a huge part of the early game in Arc Raiders is going to be you, like, finding resources to upgrade your workbenches, and I would 110% advise you to prioritize this over everything else in game. To the point where like just don't get into gunfights. Literally just go around looting everything you possibly can for the materials you need to upgrade your benches. The benches in Arc Raiders are your lifeblood for everything you do in game. Everything you need to take into the raid with you, you will make from these benches at some point or another. So seriously, spend some time. It might be a little bit boring. I mean, I'm not saying, like, you know, you can't have fun in game, but I would seriously prioritize upgrading these benches to tier 3 as soon as possible. So naturally, dying and losing all your gear hurts, especially like towards the start of the game. That's where the free loadout comes in. This system is your safety net. When you run a free kit, you risk nothing. If you die, you lose nothing. But if you manage to extract with a free loadout, the game rewards you, well, with everything you took in, as well as that free loadout augment. But like, forget about the augment. It's literally no risk, all reward. So I was like a complete tight ass for like the first 30 levels in Arc Raiders. I literally just ran free loadouts for like the first, like, I don't know, 50 hours. I was a complete Jew with my fucking with my inventory. I wouldn't take in anything good. That's how good the free loadout system is. Like, you can loot everything and get out with everything. Like, if you die, you haven't lost really, you know, you haven't really lost anything. You haven't lost like a goated shield and a goated augment and some weapons. Like, you go in there with a basic freaking like Stitcher or something like that, and you come out loaded. Like, you've got a torrent, you've got your, like, you're fully stacked. Like, you've got a like, you've killed a couple guys, you've got their better augments, their better shields. Trust me, it is insane. But I would personally rinse and repeat this process till you start stacking up materials or enough money to actually start buying better quality gear, whether it be like augments or shields. Specifically, my personal opinion for you guys would be to focus on getting better augments, especially like the looter augments and stuff like that. You can carry more. You also have your prison wallet to safely store items just in case you die. So this way, when you're dead, you just go back to base, and lo and behold, your items in your prison wallet are safe and sound. So yeah, it's pretty good, guys. Trust me. The magic of a free loadout. Now, I know you might think this is a given, but I swear so many people walk past crates and lockers all the time because they think it might be a rubbish low-tier area or something. But in the early game, you can't be too picky with materials that you loot. Loot absolutely everything you possibly can. If it's not nailed to the fucking floor, take it with you. Trust me, in the long run, this will help you out loads, especially when it comes to these stash upgrades, as those cost a fair bit of cash. Like, there's like 5 or 6 of the upgrades, and the last 2 are like 130,000 and 200,000 coins. Like, that's a fair bit of dosh, you know what I mean? So grabbing everything and selling it will go a long way towards, well, upgrading to those 280 stash spots. Not to mention, even basic materials like, basic materials, you know, rubber, metal parts, seeds, etc. Everything breaks down into those basic materials. So even getting bulk amounts of those, like huge amounts of those, which you can easily do, like hundreds of them, you can sell them for like a fucking fortune. So don't go dropping like bulk amounts of like rubber and metal on your raids, because you're wasting a literal fortune in the long run. It's kind of insane how much basic materials go for in this game. By the way, another bit of important information you need to know is every time you come across an already open container, box, locker, whatever it is that has already been looted, still open it. Even if they are empty, you still receive 200 XP for looting. Not to mention, you don't even have to waste time breaching the boxes and whatnot like the other player had to, so it takes a second for you to get 200 XP on on already looted boxes. So this is by far one of the easiest ways to gain tens of thousands of extra XP each round, especially if you get one of those shitty 12-minute remaining spawns. Seriously, this is the GOAT for quick leveling up. Like pretty much all the way up. I was still doing it all the way up to max level at 75. Insane. Alrighty raiders, we're halfway through this video, so if these tips are helping you guys out, do me a solid and hit that like button. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it really helps get this guide out to more raiders who are getting crushed out there. And if you want to master this game, subscribe to the channel for more guides just like this one. Now, without further ado, let's get back into the remaining tips. Now, another pretty straightforward one, but it's something you see all the time, even in like other videos and stuff, but stop wasting ammo on Ark's armored bodies. It's a total rookie mistake. Every single robot has a weak spot, and hitting it deals massive damage. So for flying units like Wasps and Hornets, target their thrusters. For ground units, aim for center mass. For the terrifying Rocketeer, its weak spot, again, is its thrusters. And for anything with legs, can you guys guess what it is? You aim for the legs. So memorizing these weak spots is non-negotiable. It saves you precious ammo and lets you take down threats that would otherwise completely overwhelm you. A few well-placed shots to a weak spot are worth more than mag dumping at its chest or its heavy armor plate. I mean, it's common sense, but you see it all the time. Don't panic, wait for the perfect moment to shoot at that thruster, and it's going to be better than you just panic shooting all over the place. Alright, now I wasn't actually going to talk about this one, but I thought, fuck it, let's do it anyways. Seeds. Please stop selling your fucking seeds. One of the vendors called Celeste only takes seeds as payment, and she sells so many goated items you need for just about everything you can craft on a regular basis, or everything you need to craft on a regular basis. Voltage converters for heavy shields, complex gun parts for legendary weapons, processors for tier 3 augments. The list goes on and on and on. So do yourself a favor and stockpile your seeds on a daily basis. You will have an almost endless supply of basic and high-end crafting materials that will help you out immensely during your raiding sessions. Trust me, you'll thank me later with this one. Alright, now this one could be good or bad depending on who's watching the video, and this is just my opinion, guys, and you guys can drop your opinions down below because I am very curious. But anyways, I think there's been a lot of debate online as to the best beginner weapon combinations to take out on raids. Now, a really good combo within the community and what you see a lot is a Ferro and the Stitcher. Now, the Ferro is essentially the exact same as the Anvil pistol, just slower firing due to its breach load. However, it still performs the exact same. So in a PvP situation, your best bet is to get a hit using the Ferro before quickly switching to the Stitcher to finish off the raider's remaining health, which, if we're being honest, won't be that much after a Ferro shot anyway, so having a Stitcher isn't really necessary, if that makes sense. But anyways, however, I would like to add my own little opinion for the best beginner weapon combination. I would stick with the Ferro because, you know, it's a Ferro, but instead of a Stitcher, I'd sub that out for a Rattler. The Rattler, in my opinion, is the most versatile beginner weapon you can use. Yes, granted, the upgraded one only has 10 shots or whatever it is, but that can be easily upgraded, giving you like 22 shots on a tier 4 variant. But for getting the magazine, the Rattler is good for both close and long range combat, deals more damage than its light ammo counterparts, and still has a pretty speedy reload. But look, that's just my opinion. What's your go-to beginner game weapon combination? Leave a comment down below. Now, the world in Ark Raiders isn't just a pretty backdrop, it's kind of a toolbox. Getting chased by a player or an Ark patrol, throw a lure grenade on the player and watch the robots switch targets. Set trip mines at the top of zip lines or in the doorways of popular buildings. Even sound is a part of the environment. See a car with the red lights on? Bump it to trigger a loud alarm that draws everyone and everything nearby. And you can even use this to as a distraction to escape or bait players into an ambush. It's really up to you. But always be thinking about how to make the world work for you when you're on raids. Now, although I do want to say just a little tidbit, with that being said, please don't be like the Call of Duty content creators and try trapping extracts. Just be a good fucking human being and not a piece of shit like them, okay? Thank you. I think we can all agree on this. Fucking Call of Duty content creators, man. So, there is more than one way out in this game. The big elevators are the most common extraction points, but they are loud, they're obnoxiously loud, have long activation timers, and are total ambush magnets. A much safer, though rarer option is the raider hatches. Now these are silent extractions that need a special key. You can craft or buy these with ease, $9,000 to buy off a vendor, and to craft them yourself with a tier 3 refiner, all you will need is advanced it's not the refiner, it is the tier 3 utility station. All you need is advanced electrical components, which you can find pretty easily and also make very easily. And then these sensors, you need 3 sensors in game, which are literally at every single electrical outlet point thingamajiggy in game. So you cannot have any excuses not to make these bad boys. But yes, so what I'm trying to get at is these silent extractions are, well, the best. They're perfect for a quiet getaway, when you're absolutely stacked with good loot. And yeah, it's just good to have a backup plan, I guess. You can still use the elevators if you want, but I mean, the elevators 9 times out of 10 are being camped, and it's much easier to just use one of the many raider hatches, in my opinion. Now, personally, I rarely go into raids now without the raider keys. My region has some of the most toxic ass players I've ever seen, who just get off on camping extracts, so it's just a much safer bet this way. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is what it is. Now, unfortunately, the night maps and the other special events don't have the raider hatches active, so you will have to use the common extraction points, the elevators, at some point during your time. But for my normal raids, 9 times out of 10, always a raider hatch, guys. Trust me, you will not regret it. Now, I'm not sure if everyone is doing it, but I just wanted to make, I just wanted to add it anyways, but let's just say you want to make a Bettina assault rifle. You head over to the gunsmith and you look at the materials, only to find you're missing some canisters, for instance. Well, instead of trying to remember what you need for, well, not just the Bettina, but for everything else, simply hit the track resource button on everything you want to make. And in-game, just hit the M button for map or whatever it is for consoles, and you can see everything you're tracking. And to top it all off, when you're searching containers, materials actually, like you're tracking, have a little eye symbol next to them. So it's actually kind of insane. The tracking resource button is your new best friend in Arc Raiders. Say goodbye to Scrappy, because tracking resources is the real hero, in my opinion. So next time you're needing some specific materials, you know exactly what to do. Track your damn materials. Alright, okay. Now, I know on the previous tip I said that the tracking resources button is your new best friend. Well, I lied, because the real OG friend is and shall always be the traders. Traders in Arc Raiders are a must. Making money is stupidly easy in this game, and why waste our hours grinding for specific hard to find materials when you can simply just buy the weapon you want from a vendor? Not only that, but they even allow you to buy high tier loot and crafting materials once a day. It is insane. So you buy it once, you put it in your inventory, you don't even have to use it, and then the next day you can buy another one for another 10 grand. Absolutely insane. So seriously, the first thing I do when I log on is rebuy all the medium and heavy shields, all 3 of the new deadline mines, all 5 surge recharges, Hullcracker grenade launcher, and the list goes on and on and on. So please do me a favor and don't sleep on the traders in Arc Raiders. So there you have it, Raiders. 15 tips and tricks to take you from a struggling rookie to a confident Raider. It all comes down to playing smarter, not harder, focusing on survival, managing your sound, mastering your movement, and being smarter about your loot and skills. This game does have a pretty steep learning curve, but once the ideas click, you'll be the ones setting the ambushes and extracting with the best gear. Now, if this guide did help you out, subscribe and ring that notification bell for more Arc Raiders content. I'm planning on deep diving into the best weapons next, so you don't want to miss that one. It'll be an interesting one. Also, let me know in the comments which tip helped you out the most, or if you've got a killer secret of your own to share. Now, get geared up, drop topside, and show them what you've learned. Good luck out there, Raiders.